Well, welcome back, my friends, to another rousing rendition of Choir Boys Cutlery. Hey, 22 veterans a day in this country take their own lives, vets. I love you. You have a place here. We back to blue over here. We support Leo. Scab, how do you do that? Well, we don't break the damn law. And finally, if you are an addict, never quit quitting. Well, today we're doing the mini Tayal by Work Tuff Gear. This might be one of my favorite Work Tuff Gear knives. I love all the big stuff. Y'all know that. That's my wheelhouse. But just carrying every day, the aesthetics, the whole thing. And I know this isn't everybody's cup of tea on the aesthetics, but I actually love this edge shape. It's a hell of a slicer. Let me give you a few specs here as we go. The overall length of this knife is 9 inches. Blade length is 4.1. The cutting edge is 4. The blade thickness is 0.119. It is a saber grind with a convex edge. The blade shape's what they call a trailing point, SK85. Again, 56 to 58 on the heat treat. Perfectly heat treated. It's awesome on that. Handles 3D machine G10, and the knife weight's about 7 ounces. Now, what you see right here is my little sharpening stone given to me by JR. And this thing's come pretty handy. I just wanted to hone the knife a little bit. Just kind of shape it up a little bit. I wasn't trying to reprofile it. I've had this knife about 9 months, or it's got about 9 months, maybe even a year's worth of use on it. Now, is it super duper razor sharp? No, but for 9 months or a year's worth of use, honestly, and just a hair of honing there at the Haunted Ass Church, it's pretty damn sharp. It's held an edge really well, and I tested this before, so there is another video on this before. But that's before I really kind of put together what I wanted to do in testing. And so we redid it. And I like it a lot. Now, here just showing you some different hand grips. If you're new to the channel, which we're gaining people every day, man, and thank y'all for sharing, for liking, for subscribing. I appreciate you so much for doing that. What we try to do is make the video to where if you're not listening, if you're doing something else, you can watch it and know exactly the capabilities of the knife. Now, I was at the Haunted Ass Church today, almost a wasted trip because they were doing work there, so now I got to go back in the morning. Not happy about that, but it is what it is, and that's my bitching for the day. So, do I like the knife? Well, I just told y'all up front it's one of my favorites. The SK85, I like high carbon steels. I can't speak today, but I still like high carbon steels. Now, the SK thing is a Japanese scale. I'm also a big fan of like SK5. But SK85 I'm a pretty good fan of. I'm going to go ahead and tell you. Now, I wanted to show y'all a couple of different things, sharpening up and that kind of stuff. Just showing you where we're going with it. We used some nylon strap here, water hose. We used some polypropylene rope, nylon rope, paracord, and I'm trying to think of whatever else. We cut up a lot of mediums, guys. And the point of that is just to show you it's a multi-use, multi-diversity. It is a knife that you can use in the kitchen. Again, not a chef. So for those of you that are, it's a good camp knife. It's a good cook knife. Overall, I would say it's a good truck knife or a good backpack knife, honestly. Here's that polypropylene rope. Now, here's the thing with this stuff, man. It's not the easiest in the world to cut. It's really, really not. But the Tayal did a great job. Now, let me say this. I have been graciously offered to test a couple more Work Tuff Gear knives from Mr. Vic, and I have graciously accepted. So we're going to do, I think it's the Tayal. I know I'm butchering the pronunciation, but it's the big brother of the Tayal. I'm excited about that, and we're going to get to take a look at Zeke Menacho's Proper Chopper. Excited about that. Really excited about that. It should be in a couple weeks. So, and if it's anything like this one, which I know it is, it's the big brother, I'm really, really, really excited. We wanted to do a few push cuts right here. Knife performed really, really well. This blade shape is conducive for that. The only time I had any problem with any kind of push cut was when I pushed it back towards my damn hand and not right there on that little edge where it needs to be. it was able to do a push cut through this old water hose, which is pretty dang impressive. I know I rock it back and forth, but at the same time, you get the idea. We're not really sawing it. Now, right there, I put it in the wrong spot. What else can you expect from old Scabber? And there we go. This right here, y'all seen me do this before. And people say, well, Scab, I just want to show you that the knife is sharp. If it wasn't sharp, you'd see that water hose collapse, but you don't. It cuts straight down and straight through, no problem whatsoever. Now, we didn't cut on the Tower of Doom. I retired it today in the dumpster behind you there. I'll have to pick up another one driving down the side of the road, or hell, you never know when another one of mine are going to go. So, we did some quick stabs. I stab a knife a lot throughout the video, you may notice. Now, here's just some kind of canvasy stuff. Everybody knows kind of what that is, but that's no disrespect there. It's just an old one I had, and I wanted to cut it up. Shows you some different nylon straps on it. I guess that's nylon. Hell, I don't know. Somebody will correct me, I'm sure. That's what we live for, correcting old Scabber. But I just wanted to show you some different cutting mediums, just to show you all the different things you can cut, maybe out in the field, at the house, wherever. This knife holds up really well. Honestly, as I've gone, I'm starting to become more and more used to and better with the smaller knives. And this I would call a small fixed blade. It's a 4-inch blade, or 4.1, 4-inch cutting. But it's a very effective blade. You can have a beast of a knife that's not a big knife. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? If the knife can perform multitask and you can use it in just about any situation, to me, that's a beast of a knife. And this thing holds up really, really well. Now, when we test the knife, guys, I'm not trying to abuse the thing. I do beat on them some. I try to put normal use on them. I know that not everything I do you'll ever do, but if you ever had to do it, that's kind of why I do it. It'll show you to hold up to it. I don't believe in abusing a knife. I don't believe that proves anything. I really don't. Now, if you're testing something to failure, that's 100% different. I don't do that. I'm not qualified to do that. What I do like to do, though, is push a knife and I like to do a little bushcrafting with it, and a little scab crafting with it, and a little bit of everything with it, just to show you the different uses. Novice at best. I've said that a million times. People say, Scab, why do you say that? Well, because I'm a novice at best, and if I can make a knife look halfway decent, imagine what you could do at expert level. Think about that for a moment. Now, I was at the Haunted Ass Church. Like I said, there were some people there. I got a lot done, not that you care. But in the meantime, I worked on this video some too. You see it went right through that knot right there. No problems. Good edge. Now, I've mentioned the heat treat on this SK85 throughout these videos. Why? Because the heat treat has as much to do with the sharpness or the toughness of a knife as anything. There's edge alignment, there's edge bevel, there's heat treating, there's all of these things. Work Tough Gear really hammers it home with their heat treat. I'm very impressed with their heat treat. After all of these tests, I have not had one edge roll, not one chip, nothing. And we've got knives straight out of the box from Work Tough Gear. We've carried these knives for a year from Work Tough Gear, and they've held up. That says a lot to me. It really does. And I've got nothing. There's no, nothing there. I've got nothing to gain from praising somebody that's not true. Everything I'm telling you, I really love these knives. The ergonomics of the handles have been phenomenal. So we've got, and there's old Scab holding it right off camera. Y'all knew at one point in one segment that shit was going to happen. You just knew it was going to happen. Now, the ergonomics of the handle is that 3D Machine G10. Very comfortable in hand. Come on, dumbass, pick the thing up. I think right about here I realized what I was doing, and I pick it up where you can see it. Believe me, it's impressive as hell. I wish you could see it. Look at the camera, stupid. Well, y'all get the idea. This test right here is one, I do one for the handles. There's no hot spots in the handles. That's a lot. It's not heavy chopping. It's a 4-inch blade, but we're doing some light chopping, some light skinning, no hot spots in the handle. This is my favorite test of everything I do, and it's where we hold a log in one hand and we work the edge, or we work the end of the log with a knife with the other hand. Why do we do this? If you'll notice, nothing that I do is clamp down. I want to hold it. I want to control it. Why? Because in a real life tough situation, you're not going to be able to have ideal circumstances. That's why. I want to show you guys the capabilities of a knife. The other thing is, the reason I hold it with different grips and things like that, you're spending your money. And we're living in a day and age now where we don't get to hold a knife. You can't really walk in stores as much anymore and hold knives. So hopefully by doing this, you will get to see a knife and make up your own mind. I read online where the pommel's hard. He makes it hard for like striking nuts or whatever you had to bust if you were in a survival situation. So we busted some concrete. The pommel is incredibly tough. No dents, nothing. Knife held up well. Here's the Donnie B all day drop test. We're going to do the Donnie B all day throw it at the stump test. Now listen, right here we're going to do some quick shout outs. One is D-Bad. He's marching towards 10,000. Get over there and subscribe to him. But I got a few other guys right here. The Shredder, Mikey from Cerebral Ballsy, the Knife Dude, Dan from Blind Owl Bushcraft, and Joe from Steel Forged and Fire Sword and Knife. One thing all those guys have in common is they're all around that 600 range. They're growing, they're going. We're trying to get them to 1,000. Now, I know there's more trying to get there, but those are the 4 we're focusing on. I'm going to put links in the description to them. Please go check them out. Now, back to the knife. Again, one of the reasons that I do a lot of stabs with the knife is for hot spots and to check the tip. Okay? The tip held up well, and I've yet to have a Work Tough gear that felt bad in my hand. Just being honest. Being 100% honest with you. Now, I do have one quick favor to ask. I have a video that's 5 or 6 videos back. It's a short, CQC7. I'm going to ask that everybody, all my faithful folks, all my faithful guys, please go to that video and watch it once or twice for me. It's a CQC7. It's a short. I would greatly appreciate it. I'm trying some different things out. One thing we're trying to do is get out there and get a little more exposure and grow. Why? Because the more we grow, the more we can help vets, the more we can help some of these folks. We got a raffle coming out in January, and my boy My Bad Adventures has already sent me a knife, a Concept Warrior. It's badass, that will be in that raffle. Guys, if we grow, if I grow, our reach grows, and we can really, really do some good. So please go to that video. It's just an experiment. It's 1 minute long. Watch it a couple times for me. I'd greatly appreciate it. Well, we got about a couple minutes left right here on the Tayal, the mini Tayal. Now, I did the Tayal and the Mountain Bushman this week. I love them all. I think of the 3, this may be my favorite. It's the easiest one, or for me, it was the easier to control. It has just really, really good ergonomics. They all 3 do, but of the 3, I think this is my favorite. Also, I wore this one all day. I just put it on my belt behind my Buck 110, throwing up a little west side there back in my gangbanging days. I wore it on my belt all day, barely noticed it was there. I mean, 7 ounces plus whatever the sheath weight is not a lot, but it just rides and it contours well. I've been in and out of the truck all day, made several stops all day. It has carried very, very comfortably. I can take my shirt, pull it over it, nobody knows it's there. It just really, really contours and rides well on the belt. It's a nylon sheath, it's a Kydex sheath. Kydex, not nylon, had a brain fart there. I've got a tech lock on this one. Now, here's the thing, this sheath also has a place for your thumb where you can just push quickly with a knife. I freaking love that. It makes taking the knife out easier. It gives you a guide for sliding the knife back in. I'm in love with this knife. I really am. Mr. Vic, awesome, awesome job, my friend. This one was designed in-house by Vic Lynn and based on a Taiwanese field knife. And it's just freaking awesome. Here we're going to make some little curly cues for some bushcrafting. And we're getting down about 30, 40 seconds. Now, guys, listen. I love y'all. God knows I do. God bless y'all. I hope he does. The dogs are about to play. I'm fired up. Son, Megan's fired up. The dogs are fired up. Let's go, dogs. Now, my boy Mikey, whom I love, and I just shouted him out, cerebral palsy, always says, Scab, never give up, never surrender, and everything will be all right. Mikey's true. I'm Scab. You're not. And I'm gone, son. Love y'all.